Hey everybody, this is me, Undead Viking. I'm here to do another review for you. And this is a bit different. As you'll notice, I'm not in my gaming dojo. I'm actually in the basement of my buddy Jim's house. Jim is part of my Bizarro gaming group. And I am lucky enough to be here to get ready to review this game for you called Castle Assault. And the really cool thing is that this guy right here would be this TJ Dunbar that's listed underneath there. And TJ actually came from...
Stamford, Connecticut.
Stamford, Connecticut to Lord knows why. No, you had business nearby, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
it's not that cold either. So
there you go. It's serendipitous that he just had some work meetings that he had to take care of close by, and so we set up a kind of a meet and greet, if you will. And we've been playing Castle Assault now most of this evening, and I'm going to have TJ kind of explain the game to you really quickly, and then we're going to show TJ play the game against my buddy Jim, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So what are you going to tell me about Castle Assault, other than, you know, this girl, she's kind of good looking. Is she going to be able to beat all these orcs that are going to...
She stands a chance.
Stands a chance? So there you go. What can you tell me about this game, my man?
So Castle Assault, it's has two castles on either side of the battlefield. It's designed for 1 or 2 players and plays in about 30 minutes. The Castle Assault game itself, when it kickstarts, will come with 6 decks, and it'll also come with a 1-player faction deck. So all those things included... really are trying to deliver a lot of value for our proposition here.
And it's you know, I remember you kind of described it. It wasn't so much a deck builder, but it's a
battle card game. So cards are actually in your hand and they're played into your castle area, and then they're physically moved across the battlefield. So some folks describe it as Magic the Gathering meets Stratego.
Oh,
for the
old school gamers.
Old school gamers.
Well, I think Stratego they still sell it, don't they? I think I probably saw it on the show. It's always like Risk Stratego. No, not Risk Stratego. That's a combination of 2 old school games. No, more like Halo Stratego or something like that. But I'll say this before we actually go to show you how to play the game. I've enjoyed the heck out of the game playing it, and I've yet to win. So
we'll keep it like that.
Yeah, we'll keep it. So like I said, I'm gonna grab Jim. He's over there. I don't know what he's doing, but we're gonna drag him over here, and we're gonna have him and TJ duke it out a little bit, and we're gonna show you how to play the game. And there we go. And then I'll tell you exactly what I think about it after we get done doing that. So let's do this. All right, this is a game of Castle Assault, getting ready to be played by TJ over here and my buddy Jim over here. So this is what the artwork's going to look like, right? With the published version?
Correct, very much so.
All right, but this will obviously not be a paper board. It'll be an actual game board.
Full up, heavy duty, 6-fold, the real deal.
Yeah,
this
look
is
at
just
that.
For display purposes.
Quite the salesman there, TJ. But the artwork might change a little bit with the back of the cards and what have you. But
that's true.
But for the most part, pretty much exactly what you'll get when the game is published. So you are playing what faction?
I'm playing the vampires.
And you are playing...
I have the wolves.
So like what, werewolves? Or what? Is that what they are, werewolves?
Correct. So
are we playing Twilight here, or what's going on?
No sparkling.
No sparkling. All right, cool. So those are the 2 factions, wolves and vampires, but also I think there's undead, orcs, elves, and
the humans.
And humans, okay. And those are the 6 decks you're going to get. So to start off, each person is going to draw 5 cards, which you guys have both done. Roll a die to see who the first player is.
All right.
2 to 6. Jim, first blood. So what does Jim have to do on his turn now?
Well, the first thing you'll do, Jim, is you'll roll a die for momentum. There you have it. So you'll march that towards you, and then draw a card. And then now any card in your hand can be placed face down to become in-game money. We call them resources. So there you go. Now you've got 1 resource to play other cards in your hand.
Now, does it matter what card he plays? Like, if a certain card is a better card, is it worth more resources, or is it just 1?
Fair question. No matter what, when they're placed face down, they're 1 resource.
All right, very good. And the momentum, before we get too much further, the momentum doesn't really matter until it reaches either end, right, of the momentum track, because that gives you like a bonus to your attack, correct?
Correct. The orcs, which we're not playing currently, will actually have a lot of active abilities that will activate on their card when it's maxed.
So like so like they get more than just +1 attack.
Correct.
Okay. So and different factions obviously have different abilities and what have you. So Jim's played 1 card face down, and then can he ever get that card back, or is that
Never.
card?
It's gone.
It's pretty much burned. Okay.
Sacrificed.
And so then he's going to place a card, and then now you've played that card, and the cost of it, I'm going to grab that from you, Jim, just so the people at home can see this. But this card, as you can see, is a Wolfhound, and you can see there's a 1 over here, because that's the cost of 1. Now, green is the movement of the card, correct?
Correct.
And then yellow is its fighting strength, and blue is its defense, and red is its health. And then there's going to be like a little ability here. It says +3 attack while charging. So that's the special ability of that. And then there's 3 rows that you can put. Well, I guess those are columns, I guess supposedly, but that you can place your cards or your creatures in. Correct?
You better believe it.
All right.
All right. So
that's his entire turn. Because they can't act on their first turn. When
correct.
They come out, right?
Correct. They just came up from the bowels of your castle to defend it. So they're
very good. All right.
I'll start by rolling momentum for my turn. I'll march this back 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, so the big Mo is in your house right now.
I'll draw a card.
Now, I remember when I played it, I had the orcs, and I actually had cards that would actually allow me to change the momentum without a die roll. Is that just for the orcs, or do other factions get that ability
The
too?
orcs have the strongest of that abilities. There is a neutral card that you can add to your deck, so you can customize your deck.
And the neutral cards, we don't have them in the decks right now, but the neutral cards are just something that you will add to, like you can kind of deck build a little bit as far as what you're going to have, right?
Correct. Like before the game starts, you could actually substitute, like if I know I'm playing the wolves and I got a few cards that are pretty weak against them, I can actually substitute them for my deck and then put in a few neutral or factionless abilities.
Awesome. All right, so, enough talk. You do your
Action.
thing, TJ.
So on my turn, I have a minor handicap where I can actually play 2 cards face down to have 2 resources.
Because you were the first
Second.
second player. You didn't get to be first player.
Correct. So I will place 2 down. I'll spend those 2, and then I'll play this sanguine elf in my castle area. So I'll put it right here.
All right. Now, Jim didn't tap his resource, so he's already cheating. But but that's fine. So and that's your entire turn.
Correct.
And this is kind of like when I noticed when we started playing the game, it was very slow, but the game picks up as the action begins.
Correct. Thank you.
Yeah.
At the end of this turn, this guy loses 1 health, so he's from 3 down to 2, and it's your turn. All right, Jim.
So
now
untap.
Yeah. Jim rolls the
Rolls
big
a
Mo.
memento.
Ooh, a 6.
Draw a card.
Now you always get to draw a card, right? No matter what.
On your turn, yeah.
Okay.
Now he puts another card down. Now he's got 2.
Now, does he have to move the wolf yet, or?
Yep, he would do that before he lays that down.
And the
There you
movement,
go.
you have to move forward. You can't choose not to move your creature if it has a movement point, right?
Correct. The Wolfhound has a movement of 1, so it does have to move. It's a forced movement.
Okay.
Spending 2.
And so this is a feral wolf, I see. And it has, rage while charging +3 attack. So it looks like the wolves are all about charging forward. Now you can do an action with his wolfhound, correct?
Correct.
And
Yep, so you can do nothing or charge. I recommend
I
charging.
would like to charge.
and when you charge, you just roll a die and you get to move that many spaces, right? Ooh,
Correct.
a big charge of 1. Way to go. Where was these rolls against me, Jim? All right.
I'll start my turn, Jim, by rolling for memento for 4. I'll ready my resources up. I'll draw a card. And now this guy will move forward as printed movement value of 1. That's now my open phase, so I will actually charge with this guy for 4.
Now, I noticed Jim did his charge after he played his card over it. Like when you're doing your turn, you can interchange all those actions.
Anything you want.
Okay.
It's whatever most convenient and helpful for you.
And so you kind of want to tie certain abilities and what have you together. Gotcha.
I'll place the card face down, spend 2, and I'll bring out this Vessel Acolyte. He can give health to his buddies if they're close enough.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
And then it's your turn, Jim. And this guy loses 1 health.
Is he going to make it to the castle before he dies?
Depends on how you roll.
So 5, Big Mo shifts back.
Boo.
Draw a card.
There you have it. And then move your guys their printed movement value, and
1,
now it's your
1,
open
2,
phase.
3. And I will put another one of these down.
I'm sorry, what was that, Jim? I couldn't really hear you.
I'll put another one of these down.
Okay. Mumbling over there.
And I will spend, let's do 2 here, and that taps
Yep.
And
And so he has that ability, haste. So you're absolutely right. He can either do nothing, charge,
so
or...
how does this range linear work?
So any opposing unit within 1 to 4 spaces, you can take an action to shoot. So you just state, the Beastmaster is shooting the Sanguine Elf.
I would like to do that.
And then, so now the Beastmaster will do his 2 attack minus my armor of 0, or my defense. And so now that does 2 damage to my health. I only have 1 health left, so my Sanguine Elf is destroyed.
And now since he destroyed does he get to draw a card?
You bet. Whenever he beats a guy up, he draws a card.
Very good.
Now I can charge with these other 2?
Correct.
And that could possibly continue a turn then, because the card he grabs might, because he's got 1 back, he could actually put another one down, or maybe.
You bet. Any order.
Okay. First the Wolfhound.
Oh,
he's Wolfhound.
He's
It's
still
like
flying along.
it's the scared
And the
wolf.
feral wolf. Okay.
All right. Anything else over there for me, Jim?
I think that's it. I did have one question on the abilities. At
Sure.
what point do those go? Do you only do those on your turn, or is that something that can occur at any time?
Anytime during your open phase.
Okay.
So if it's the ability card, you can play it on your units.
Okay.
Some are abilities that can, change momentum or just change the battle. There are some abilities that have a star that say like are an instant ability. So you can actually play those on my turn.
Okay.
So they're kind of like sneaky things you can do.
Okay.
All right. Do you?
Now he can actually use that 1 if his momentum wasn't all the way down. You can use one of your abilities to raise or move the momentum too, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I do, well, yes, except if I have okay, just to clarify here, if there's a star in the corner, that's a card that could be played instantly?
Yep.
So I may want to save that then,
To be
potentially.
correct. To
Gotcha,
be
so I will
additionalized.
do that.
And also you can spend what is it? I had to do it to try. It's the last gas. You can spend 3 to draw 1 card. Too,
Correct.
If you have 3, okay. So it isn't just to play cards. You can use them for other things as well.
Correct. You can draw cards.
And since I'm talking here, is there any limit to how much open resources? How many cards you can use for resources?
No, you can only put down 1 on your turn, but you could have 6 or 7 or
If the game's still going.
Correct.
But usually, probably you're not going to get to that point.
That's a good question actually. If you get through your entire deck drawing and having resources and playing characters, the game doesn't end when you're out of cards. You're just out of ideas. So now there's no more cards, and you've got to be a little bit more strategic with what the cards you do have left.
So you don't get to shuffle up your
Yeah.
oh wow, okay,
So it does have an end. It's not like
gotcha.
cyclical. All right, should I start my turn?
Yes.
Do you have anything sneaky for over there?
I do not.
Oh, all right. Let's see about that. All right, so we got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna ready my resources up. I'll draw a card, and then my guy will move forward 2 spots because of his printed movement value of 2. I'm gonna take an action with him and charge him into your Wolfhound.
If you roll 1, oh look at that. Oh, and it's 1, 2. Now the combat occurs immediately at that point. Now,
Correct.
is there a rule for like having more charge than you needed to get to that point?
That's a good point, Lance. If you rolled more than necessary, like I did there, I actually get a +1 to my attack. So now instead of having the lousy 1 attack, I've got 2 attack. So my 2 attack will go in minus his armor
Of 0.
Of 0. So he's going to take 2 damage. So the Wolfhound is toast. But the Wolfhound will counterattack with 0 attack. 0 minus 0s, of course, I lived through it.
Okay, well, and this is where I'm wondering if I can play this card.
You better believe it. That's very, very valid. So you would spend your 1 resource.
And what does that card do?
And that card gives him +3 attack for 1 turn.
And so his Wolfhound that normally would have zero attack unless it charges. That's that special ability of the Wolfhound. But now all of a sudden he gave it the power to actually harm your what is that?
That's a Vessel Acolyte.
A Vessel Acolyte. Okay. And so that has a 3 attack to the 0 armor, and
We're both toast.
Both did.
and now both you get to draw a card, though, right?
Correct.
All right.
I should have known you were going to do something sneaky, Jim. I'll spend a resource here. I now have 4 resources. I'll spend those. And then I'll place this card here. It's called, her name's Ashriel. If she's at cost 4, I'll put her here.
Ooh, let me just see that card. It's the cost 4, you say. And okay, and I thought maybe this would be a Lord card, but I don't see the some cards will have a designation of being a lord, meaning that like but you can only have one of those cards out at one time. But no, she's just tough anyway. What are all these powers? Phase must can pass through friendly allies, drain. Well, I was going to ask you about that. So if you can put your own in the same spot. Do they get stuck behind the people that are in front of them?
Right.
Then,
If they're in, for instance, if I had this card here, and I was charging Ashriel, yes, if she would not be able to charge through, she would actually be stuck behind.
Well, not her because she can
has
phase
that
through.
ability. She would
But
be able to phase
can
through.
you? But they would never like push the other person forward or anything.
Correct.
Like they're stuck right there. Gotcha.
got it.
All right. Very good.
All right, Jim, you're up.
Okay, untap, roll.
Oh, the big one.
Good.
Good roll.
Excellent.
Draw a card. And
Oh, so before that, we'll move
oh
your
yeah,
units.
I'm sorry. 1 and
This
3.
guy will move forward 3.
Okay, so then
Actually,
he's
yes.
going to be right up against your castle there.
Right. So actually, so he
You only move 2
here,
away.
correct?
Yeah.
So because he gets he has a 3 movement and he's only 2 spaces away, he gets that +1 attack when he's moving into my castle.
So he draws first blood, is what you're trying to say there.
Correct. He'll actually give me for 2.
Now, does that go with... So unless you destroy him, he's going to sit there and keep doing damage to your castle, right?
Bingo.
And because of the fact that he can move 3 but can't move, does he do 1 or does he do 2 next round?
On this next round, well, actually, when he enters his open phase, he can now, instead of charging, because he can't charge because he's like, head on with the castle, he can take an action to attack the castle. So he can just do the direct damage of 1 to the castle.
Okay, because he's not moving, so
Correct.
therefore he doesn't... Okay, got
Doesn't
it.
get any of those bonuses. But so the rest of the game, if I never put anybody to defend, he'll do 1 damage during his move units phase, and then as an action, he can attack me for another 1.
Very good. Okay.
I did already play down the card here, as I was cheating, jumping ahead. And then I will.
Maybe that's how you lost.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
And then I will play the Lord Wolf Dunbar.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
And I'm going to grab that one because that one actually has that Lord on it. And this designation up here, what that means is that he can only have one of these cards out at any one time with the Lord on there. And so you can see, he's got the big attack and some armor and some high health there. So there you go.
And he does have haste, so he can go right away also. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and attack and do the 1 point of damage
Yeah,
on
there
that
we
one.
go.
And then these 2 will both charge. And there's the Beastmaster here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the Dunbar. There we go. And they should all be
Spent up, so I'll
Spent.
start my turn. Roll this momentum guy for 2. 1, 2. I'll ready my resources. I'll draw a card. And then my Ashriel will move forward, print movement value 1. I'll have Ashriel charge, just so I can get another card. 3. So now she gets that +1 bonus for the strong charge.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets an additional +1 because it's in this range of the momentum meter.
The big Mo.
So she's got the 6 attack. 6 minus a 0 is 6 damage to the Beastmaster's toast. But the Beastmaster will counterattack for 2. 2 minus my armor, or defense of 1. So I take 1 damage, so I'm down to 4. And then I draw a card for beating up the Beastmaster.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going back to Kodo and Podo right now, watching the old Mark Singer as the Beastmaster movie from my youth.
I'll spend 1 resource to get this Bloodhound out there. I'll play him right here, so they'll start fighting right away. Whenever you have a card enter your castle, they'll immediately do battle.
okay.
There'll be 3 attack, minus your defense. This guy's toast. You'll counterattack for 1. 1 minus 0, and I have 1 health left. So I'll draw a card for that guy. And then I will I'll spend $3, 3 resources, excuse me, for the Sanguine Golem. So he loses 1 health at the end of his turn, but he's got some,
Nasty damage.
delightfully high attack. And I'll play him here. I'll end my turn, and this guy loses 1 health, so he's destroyed. And this guy loses 1 health, so he's down to 2. And it's your turn.
Okay. Untap. Roll.
Ooh, big 6. You couldn't see that on the recording, but yes,
Okay.
Jim cheated and rolled a 6.
1 on
Oh,
there.
did you draw a card, Jim?
Oh, I did.
There you have it.
Yep. Wolf Fury. He also is hasted, so he can take an action immediately. That taps 3 of my cards here. And I will go ahead and charge. Let's go with Lord Dunbar there first. 2, 3, and 4.
So they'll meet in battle. So
Okay.
Wolf Lord Dunbar has 5 attack plus 3 attack while charging. Gives him a 8.
And he's got the big mo too.
There.
But I think, what was he right here? I
Yeah,
think you
he-
rolled the exact number
I
of
did.
spaces.
But what about his momentum? Doesn't
It's
he get
only on a
plus-
strong
On a
charge.
strong charge, really.
Okay,
Going through
gotcha,
it.
gotcha.
Gotcha, okay.
So you'll have the, so why he doesn't get it is because he rolled the exact number.
Exact number.
And if you roll a higher than required, you really pop into him. So
Gotcha.
that gives you that strong charge. So the Wolf Lord will have 8 attack, 8 minus my armor of 0. My guy's toast, but I'll counterattack for 6 damage, 6 minus the 1, and your guys, we're both toast. Both draw cards.
Both draw cards, okay. And then I will charge with Wolf Fury here too.
Almost
1,
enough.
2, 3, and 4, and 5.
All right.
And I'm done.
Got anything else for me over there?
I got one left that I'm saving.
Oh, dubious.
Trickery.
Alrighty, the resources. Draw a card. This will march forward the 1, so they'll be forced to do battle. So she'll do 4 attack, minus your 0 armor. The Wolf Fury's toast. You'll counterattack for 5. 5 minus my 1 armor is 4 damage. We're both toast. Both draw cards. And the battlefield is cleared.
Battlefield is full of bodies.
I'll spend $5 for my Lord card. This is Nishi's Sword of the West. And he's got a ranged linear, and he is also arcane. So he attacks, he ignores your armor when he's attacking.
Oh, look at you. So where'd you come up with the names? Just random name generator, or did you...
Historical, so when I used to play D&D, like Nishi was the kind of arch nemesis that I created in a mod. So as like the vampires kind of lord for this game, Nishi was, again, just substituted in. Nishi just needs West in Japanese.
No.
So it's not real, there's no real smarts behind it.
Well, I didn't know it, so it's smarter than me.
There we go.
Come on, Jim.
Oh, are we
We're
ready?
waiting.
Yes, sir. Jim.
I will roll. Okay. Draw a card. Okay, and I will play down the Wolf Striker here for 2. And the Wolf Scout. Let's see here. Let's put the Wolf Scout over here for 2 more.
So you don't just run right into the
And,
Lord and
yeah,
kill.
that'd be bad. Then we'll move the charge with the Wolf Striker, and he's there.
All right.
Because he had haste, so
Haste,
he
he
could go
does
right
have
away.
haste,
All right.
yes.
I'll start by rolling 1. That's not that good. Ready the resources. I'll draw a card. This guy doesn't move anywhere because he's got a printed movement value of 0. I'll charge with him though.
Big move.
This one's yours. All right, Jim. I'm gonna spend $4 and then play this character again, Ashriel. And
She's
it's,
back from the dead.
She's back. And she's. And it's
Now
your
that
turn.
one isn't a Lord. Could you have had 2 Ashriels out at one time?
I
then?
could have, yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead and your turn, Jim. But I just out of curiosity. So, the combat is very deterministic. It's very, this is my attack. This is your defense. This is what happens. Did you ever, while you were making the game, think about having random attack, like rolling a die or anything like that, or were you always doing deterministic damage?
It was more deterministic. I think that when there's no real reason behind it actually, and there is a faction that does do a roll for theirs to give it 50% chance that they do a higher attack than they usually should have.
Which faction is that?
It's currently not named. It's kind of like a chaotic faction because there's the forces of chaos. Determine if it's
So this is one of those maybe Kickstarter editions.
Stretch
perhaps.
goals.
Stretch goals. There you go. Oh.
You got it.
I will put the Archdruid Farnir in with my 4 points, and I think, let's see, then I can charge with the Wolf Striker and the Scout.
Who's going first?
This one.
All right.
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
There you go. So he does get the +1 attack for that large charge, and another +1 for being in this momentum meter's in your favor. So the Wolf Striker, instead of 3, has 5. So you'll do your 5 minus 1 is a 4 damage. So I got 1 health left, and I just get through it, and I'll counterattack for 4. So then I'll draw a card for beating up your dude.
And the Wolf Scout will charge.
Look at you, Jim.
4, 5.
All he does is roll 5s.
So the only issue there, Jim, is that he's got 0 attacks,
Yeah,
so he
that
does
doesn't
0
help me.
damage
That
to
doesn't
the
help me.
castle.
So how does that guy ever do damage then?
Well, his trick is, so he has got a special ability there called Call Ally. So you can actually bring in his buddies from his hand forward in the battlefield. So if Jim chose not to charge, he could use an action to bring in, to summon a buddy, any of these locations next to him. And so let's pretend like if he summoned this Wolf Striker, he could summon a Wolf Striker here, and the Wolf Striker has haste, and then he could charge with him. So he could be, he does this Wolf Howl, and he comes into the middle of the
So
battlefield.
what you're trying to say is Jim made a poor choice.
Or
well,
Jim rolled too high.
He learned, and then
Yeah,
I'll ignore it next time. He's going to get me next time. So
Now, just out of curiosity, since he rolled 5, oh no, it isn't a strong charge. Never mind, because he didn't do more. Okay, never mind. I should probably allow the designer of the game to know the rules better than me.
no, because I want you to know him better than me. All right, Jimmy, you're all good over there.
I am good.
All right, I'll start by rolling momentum for 4, 2, 3, 4. Ready these resources up. Draw a card. Printed moving value. This guy goes forward 0. This guy goes forward 1. I'm going to charge with Nishi.
It's a big charge.
With Ashriel.
1.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just so she's not a sitting duck, I'm going to spend $1 to give her 2 health back.
Okay.
So I'll do that on my turn. That's an ability I'll activate on my turn. I got to get rid of that Wolf Scout. I'll spend $3 here to get rid of the Wolf Scout by playing a Vampire. And that Vampire will I'll play there, and they'll instantly start attacking each other. So the Wolf Scout will do 0.
I had to chuckle. Like it's the vampire faction. You have all these cool names for everything, and then vampire.
Actually, there used to be one lesser vampire,
Oh.
and then one of the playtesters was like, "Why do I want to play a lesser vampire? I want to play like the greater vampire." So I was like, "Okay,
Das Vampire.
that would be cool." So the vampire will do 3 attack minus the armor of 0, and Wolf Scout is destroyed.
Wait a minute. The Wolf Scout has an attack of 0 though.
Yep. So he's dust.
Just giving you free cards is what I'm
Yes,
Yep.
that was.
And then it's now your turn, Jim. One of the things worth showing,
2, 3, and
maybe Lance, is the neutral or factionless ability cards that will come with Kickstarter.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just while Jim takes an interminable amount of time to get his thing done. As he said, having the other cards in there. So like here you have a Turning Tide card, and then that actually allows you to move a momentum meter 3 spaces. Oh, I drop it, so because apparently it's really good. And another Turning Tide card, and another Turning Tide card.
So that's all we got.
But you can only have can you have more than one of these in your hand, or can you only pick one? Or
You could put these in your deck before you start playing.
Okay.
So you could put 2 copies of every card in your deck.
So then you must get 4 of those then. So each person could get 2 then when the Kickstarter is going to come out then.
When it kickstarts, it's determines it's going to be one of the stretch goals.
Oh, gotcha.
The base will be 2 of every, but there could be more.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Now, so then when you're creating your faction, getting ready to play, then will each person, you pick a card, then I pick a card, you pick a card, I pick a card, kind of thing. So you could get, if say you only got 2 of those Turning Tide cards with the game, then you wouldn't just get both of them. You'd have some sort of drafting or something before the game begins, right?
That's one technique. I think with the turning tide in particular, it really works well to the orcs' advantage. So with the orcs, because a lot of their mechanics are based off the momentum meter, they really want to have that in their favor. So you could probably you'd use them most likely in the orc deck, but it's not like a permanent thing. I may do 4 of each one, so you don't have to do the kind of draft thing.
I like drafting cards.
Oh, well, really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So yeah.
What kind of drafting card games do you?
Well, I mean, like obviously the big ones that it seems like drafting mechanic is becoming more and more
The thing.
the thing. I think people enjoy the whole look at your cards and have it. I think Seven Wonders started that everything down that path, and everybody's kind of latched onto it.
That's cool.
Just a question in regards to
You
Ashwheel's
bet.
ability there. So if I put something down to block him and I don't kill him, he gets all his health back, or a good portion of it.
If he destroys your unit, let's say your unit had like very high armor, I wouldn't get the drain to health.
Okay. Okay. Let's do this then. I will play the 3, and I will
There we go.
end with that, and then let's do a charge here.
So you do get that strong bonus for that one. So you get the 3 plus the 1. Unfortunately, so that's it. So you get the 4 attack, 4 minus 2. I survive it with 1 health left, and I'll do 4 right to your body.
Okay.
So 4 damage, and I'll draw a card.
You just handed him cards, Jim.
I am handing him cards.
You got 2 cards in your hand. TJ's got over here. He's got like
He's
a
got
hand of like
6.
17 cards. I can't decide what I'm gonna play.
I'm holding the stricken moose is what I've got over here, literally.
All right.
And I'm not going to do anything with the wolf rogue.
All right, I'll start my turn here. 6. I'll
Big
ready
move.
these up. I'll draw. This guy will move forward. His printed move value 1, and
I will
they'll.
use this then to play the hate of arrows.
I
Or no, that's only for. Never mind.
There you have it.
Yeah, only for ranged attacks.
Oh.
Unfortunately. Oh well.
So I'll do 4
It's a
minus
great plan
0.
If
I was
you-
using
if
a
you
range.
use it
If only
effectively.
you had read the rules.
Yes, correct.
4 minus 0. This guy's toast, and then you counter for. Is it 4 attack?
Yeah.
4 minus 1, and I'm gone too. And we both draw cards.
Let me see the stricken moose card.
I do have the stricken moose.
Yes. There's a stricken moose. That is disturbing artwork.
The vampire's gonna charge here for a 1.
Man, you know that one.
These are yours, Jim. Keep them over there. The Nishi is gonna roll here, charge for a 6.
There you
There you
go.
have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that'll be 4 damage to your castle.
Oh,
That'll hurt.
we'll mark it down. Gee, there you go.
I'll spend 3 resources here for another vampire, same as the copy before, and I'll spend another $2 for the Sanguine Elf. So that's I'll end my turn, and when I do, the Sanguine Elf will lose 1 health, so he's down to 2. All right.
Come on, Jim. Dazzle us.
I'm gonna try. Oh, look at that.
That's a fair
This
start.
is that moment when the wheels are coming off the wagon.
Yep.
It's like that image of you see of the video of the guy in the cycle where you see the front wheel going back and forth and he can't quite get it back.
You know he's toast. Jim, so what you're trying to do is get through the 2 armor,
Oh, yeah.
and so you're just trying to do 3 damage. Do you have any other cards? Because you don't want to lose a guy.
Yeah, that's
immediately.
true. That's true. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that does 3 damage.
Okay, so maybe that's the only way out then.
But he's still going to attack me, right? So it
Right.
doesn't really matter.
What about the stricken moose?
He doesn't do any damage, and in fact, he loses health at the end of the turn.
Yeah, he's particularly useful for calling again allies. So he'll move up, and then he'll call in he'll kind of surprise the opponent by having a guy show up, advanced on the battlefield.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to get you off the front line here, unfortunately.
So they'll mutually destroy each other.
And I lose a Lord card just to...
And both
Well, so
draw
you don't
cards.
lose though.
No.
Both draw cards.
Okay.
There you go.
And it's your turn.
You can always put another card to have an additional resource if you'd like. Just as I'll start by rolling momentum, which will just be enough to get me there. Ready these up.
An embarrassment of riches over here.
Yes.
I'll move this forward 2. This guy move forward is 1. This guy move forward 2. I'll charge with a vampire. 1, 2, 3. So that's more than he needed. So he'll do 3 plus the 1 plus the range is a 5. So that you go
Down to 1?
Down to 1 health.
This opponent has proven much more difficult than when I played you last.
That's right. The Sanguine Elf will charge For 2, the vampire will charge.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't. He almost gonna put you to bed.
I'll play.
Scene.
I'll play $4 here for my Delinus. He's an additional Lord card I have.
Just happened to have an
Just
additional
happened-
Lord card.
Just happened to have him,
It
yeah.
helps when you stack the deck.
Yes.
And it's your turn, Jim.
Okay, I'll reset here. I have nothing to move. I will roll. Let's see, the momentum back this way. I'm going to actually put a card down here.
Here's the big comeback.
Yeah, here we come. Let's play the Wolf Rogue down with 3.
That'll just do, so they'll start battling immediately. So they'll do 3 attack, minus your 0 armors, 3 damage, so your guy's toast, but you'll counter for 4. Perfect play. Both draw cards.
Alright.
TJ got the instant win card. What a coincidence!
I've been saving up for this.
Okay, and it's not looking good here. Okay, so I will spend my last 2 points here to... Oh, let's put the Beastmaster here, and I'm done.
Oh, just, you don't want these guys to run into your castle undefended.
Or maybe I do.
Oh!
I don't know. So really, I should try and block.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you don't,
yeah.
there you go. I'll start by rolling for momentum. 5. I'll ready out my resources. Draw a card. This guy will go forward 2. 1.
I just can't decide which one I'm going to use to destroy you with.
Exactly.
I'll roll the vampire there, will charge. So that'll do
Oh.
6, so that'll definitely get in there. And so I'll do the 3 plus the 1 for the strong charge, plus the 1 is 5.
He's definitely toast.
Yep, and then you'll counter though for 2. 2 minus my 0 is
Does 2 damage.
2 damage. But then this guy's drain ability will activate because I destroyed the Beastmaster.
Okay.
So I'll gain 1 health back from you.
Oh,
So I'm back to 3.
of course he does.
Okay.
This game's rigged.
So none of the extra damage though carries over into damaging the castle
Nope.
itself.
No, fair question.
So this is an important die roll right here.
So the Sanguine Elf will charge.
Yep. If you can get at least a 4, he's got me.
The 4 plus is the W.
Here we go.
And there it is. That's the end. So, same with Elf just
Kaboom.
moves up, and he's got 1 hit point left, and then you destroy the castle. And that, as they say, is that. Now, it's just no. The cool thing, I was just thinking about this as you were talking about, and I'll probably mention this in my conclusion. But obviously, I mean, the mat and the board is handy to have. But I mean, with this many factions, like you could have with just the base game, you could have like 3 games going, and you could even like have little tournaments and what have you, and just like, and so each person can play the game, and then like because the board itself, I mean, while it's very handy and very colorful and very beautiful, I was just thinking about that, how much fun that would be to like have like kind of some sort of a tiered tournament style going on. Have you ever done anything like that with see like how many wins each person gets or anything like that?
Oh, definitely. So we have a big table, and there's math and all of that to ensure that the decks are all balanced. But yeah, we have a large table of how many times the vampires have played the orcs, have played the humans, and so I believe we're currently at around 978 games.
Oh, jeez.
And so we do have, and that's how we've tuned the vampires. The vampires against the orcs have been a little bit, too powerful. So we've, boffed the vampires down for some of their stats and to ensure that it's a fair game no matter what faction you're playing against another faction.
Yeah. I mean, this. Thank you both for playing it out and doing that. I think that'll be an excellent way for people to realize how the game is played. But I'm always impressed when people are able to make. It's really easy to make games that are just like, oh, here these 2 sides are equal and they're going to fight. I mean, that's simple. But when you actually make a game with like radically different factions, I mean, because we played the other ones as well, and I mean, like I played the orcs and I got destroyed, but I mean, they're nothing like these, and like they're actually created and they actually have all those different abilities, but it still is even, like it's still, if you play your cards right and are very strategic in your choices, you end up actually having as good a chance as any to win a battle. So I'm always impressed by that. So kudos to you there, TJ.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, cool. Well, thanks a lot. Everybody who's watching this, you should have a really, really good idea of how to play Castle Assault this time. So let me tell you exactly what I think about the game here in my conclusion right now. All right, well, cool. Thanks for sitting through that play-by-play. That I wouldn't get accustomed to having those happen, but I'm always trying to do or think of neat and new things to do. And as happenstance occurred with TJ in town, and my buddy Jim being more than willing to sit in and go through that process and use his basement actually, it was kind of neat to do that. So I've gone ahead and played Castle Assault quite a few times now, on my own and with my friends and what have you. And I touched on a few things as I was watching them play and as TJ and I were talking. But one of the really cool things that's been happening, just with me in general as far as gaming, is that I have seen a change, like a progression, if you will. And I remember, when I first started playing games, I was definitely more of an Ameritrash person. I moved into the world of Euros. I'm still really, and I had a kind of a renaissance of a Euro spot in my life, but eventually I've kind of come back to the Ameritrash feel of games. I like miniatures. I like dice. I like fiddly little parts of the game. I like direct conflict, things like that. And I mean, and that's just, and I'm sure at some point my tastes will revolve and end up in another direction as well. But I remember one of the things that I never really was a big fan of, I was never really a big fan of two-player games. And mostly because, it was just, one of the things I really enjoyed about playing games was having 4 or 5 people around the table, including myself, and having all of those personalities and conversations and anecdotes and what have you. And I really enjoyed that aspect. I've always enjoyed that aspect of gaming. But lately, I've had a situation where gaming time affords itself to me, and I'm able to just give one person a call, or somebody invites me over to play a game or whatever, and we play a lot of two-player games. My buddy Joel, my buddy Jim, my wife, my daughter, for that matter, and I've really kind of enjoyed a real cool renaissance of this like weird two-player game, and I'm always looking for fun little two-player games. Like I just got my copy of Draco Mundi, which I'm really looking forward to playing. But all that being said, there's so much about Castle Assault that's just fun. I'm always impressed, and I've said this, I'm always impressed when people are able to create a game that has different factions in it, and the factions act independently of each other. I mean, they work a certain way, and a certain style of play works really well for them. For example, like the orcs or whatever, they're really fast in this game. They're all about, just extra getting and attacking quickly, whereas, elves are kind of a builder and they have range and things like that, mobility. And so I enjoy when a designer is able to make a game that I never feel like one faction is more powerful than the other. And I never feel like, oh, well, as long as you just do X with race B, you'll never lose, or you'll always put yourself in a good chance to win. No, I mean, I like the fact that all of these different factions, all these different races that you play in this base game, and like I've talked to TJ, and he's got tons of ideas and other races that he's come up with, that they all feel powerful in their own right. And the way they interact with each other, the way they play against each other, is really a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this game develop and seeing it move forward. Ultimately, I guess if you are a two-player game player, I think, and a fantasy lover, a lover of fantasy theme, I think this is kind of one of those you have to get kind of games, because you set it up and it's ready to go in 5 minutes. Especially if you've played the game before. You might have to take an extra 10 to like teach somebody the basic mechanics, but after that, the game is just very fast, very quick, and I think it'll appeal a little bit to the deck building crowd out there, even though you aren't really deck building. But I think it's going to appeal to that crowd. It's going to appeal to that crowd of people that enjoy, their own little deck of cards and seeing what they get. And I think I think that's going to appeal to these people as well. And I didn't, honestly, when I heard about this game, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if it was going to be something that I was going to enjoy or not. I mean, I'm willing to play any game at least once. Because in my travels, I have not ever really found a game like a game that was just bad. I mean, there was just nothing good about it. I mean, usually you can find something, you can pull something out of the game to enjoy. But this game, I love games where I have cards and I build my strategy out of those cards. The tactics of the game are evident, especially if you play the game a few times before, but the strategy is built. And even though you may have played the elves 5-6 times, you're going to encounter a situation, depending on who you're playing, and depending on which cards you get in your hand, that's going to be different each time. You're going to have to adapt, you're going to have to decide. And it's just, there's this wonderful portion of the game where it's like, I have to defend, but I also have to attack. And it's just, and you have to weigh those back and forth. And, for all those things, all the cool little moments of the storytelling, I love the fantastic art, and all those moments of that you talk about, like you act it out. This is another one of those games where when your werewolf leaps and bounds and rips apart a defender, you see it in your head, kind of thing. All those things, and plus just the fact that it's just it's such a wonderful give and take, one-on-one struggle. I just really enjoyed Castle Assault, and I think if you like games that are like that, I think you'll enjoy them as well. So, if you have any questions about the game, please, by all means, ask those. I would love to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Let me know what you think about the whole gameplay portion in the middle when I kind of removed myself and we just had an in-play game and that kind of thing. I want to know what you thought about that. And, well, until next time, this was me, Undead Viking, telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.